Well, hello again. Welcome back to Vickie's Country Home. Today I'm going to make something that everybody has an opinion on and everybody's right. But I'm from Texas, and in particular I'm from San Antonio, Texas. And this is how I believe from my research, from history, that chili got started. So I'm going to make some red chili, but I'm going to make it the traditional Texas way. And it's a very different thing from what you probably have ever tasted. So traditionally, chili started out, it was on the trail, it was in chuck wagons, and then it moved on to Military Plaza in downtown San Antonio, and the chili queens would lay out long tables and put cloths on them and serve up their chili. Now, on the trail, they didn't have tomatoes. I'm not even sure if they had garlic. They could have. What they did have is they had beef. Not ground beef, but beef. Chopped up beef. And they had chili peppers. So that is really what is in, and salt. That is in what's in chili. So it starts with dried chilies. And I've got several kinds. These are New Mexico chili pods. These are chili guajillo. And these are California chili pods. And I'm going to probably mix it up. But you can use any kind of dried chili pods that you like for your flavor. So I'm going to mix it up and kind of do some of each of these three. I have some others, but they're super hot, and I want to eat this too, so I know Brian would love it, but that's not what I'm going for today. So what I'm going to do is choose my chilies, and then I will show you how to get started. It calls for 6 chili peppers, but some of these are kind of small. So I went ahead and picked out 8. The very first thing you're going to do is wash them off, because chilies traditionally are dried in ristros or outside somewhere. They're air dried. So you want to make sure and get any dust or anything else off first. So that's what we're going to do first. Okay, after you rinse them off, we're going to remove the stems, and we're also going to remove the seeds. And I think for myself it's easiest if I just cut down the side, and then you can just peel it open and they all come out really easily. So I'm going to put these into a pot with 8 cups of water. Alright, I've got all my peppers stemmed and seeded, and they're in the 8 cups of water. I'm going to put this on the stove and bring it to a boil. After I bring it to a boil, I'm going to turn it down to medium, cover it, and let it simmer for about half an hour. Now, while my chilies are simmering in hot water, I am going to start cutting up the meat. Now, chili was made with whatever they had, but it was not usually their best cuts of meat. I like chuck because I think it has a lot of flavor. So that's what I'm going to be using. So I have, this is about a little over 4 pounds. And you can use more, you can use less. But all we want to do is cut this into chunks. And I will cut some of the fat off, but I'm not going to worry too much, because this is going to cook way, way down. A little bit of that fat is going to give it flavor. So you basically just want to cut it into chunks. That's got quite a bit of fat going through there, so we'll get some of that out. About 1 to 2 inch chunks. Doesn't have to be perfect. And again, this is going to cook way down. So we're just going to cut it in pieces. Mostly bite size. That's all we really care. That's kind of big. So I'm going to get this all cut up, and then we'll come back when the chilies have finished cooking. I took the peppers out of the liquid, and I just used a slotted spoon. We want to save that liquid. Do not get rid of it. That's a bunch of our flavor. But we have to get the skin off of these things. And there's a few warm peppers in here, so I'm wearing gloves. So all you want to do is go through and scrape the flesh off. If you could peel them, that's fine, but these are not going to peel, so I'm just going to scrape it. And you're just going to discard the peels. Now, I never said this was not going to be labor intensive. I just said it's going to be traditional. And the reason this part is necessary is you can see how papery these skins are. And if you left that in there, you would bite into it and it wouldn't be pleasant. So it's not hard, but you do want to get those skins off. And if they're hot peppers, you do want to wear some gloves. So I'm going to just continue on and get all the flesh off these skins, and then we'll come back and start cooking the chili. Okay, I finished getting all the flesh off of all the chili peppers, and that is from the 8 chili peppers. That's the skins, and this is how much of the flesh I got off. It's not hard to do. It takes a little bit of time. And I will tell you, if you have the closed end of a pod, just squeeze it and it came right out. And that's the easiest way to get it out. I'm going to put this in the blender and I'm going to add a cup of my reserved cooking liquid. We're making this wonderful flavor sauce that's going to go in that chili. And I just saw a piece of skin that got by me. And I'm so glad I wore the gloves because I could tell there's some hot peppers in here. So now I can remove those. Alright, I have 1 cup of the reserved cooking liquid. And I'm going to add that to the blender. Close this up. just want to blend it until it's smooth. So now, wow, that is warm. I can smell it. All right, I'm going to clear this stuff out of my way. I'm going to chop up 2 onions, and I like a lot of garlic. I'm probably going to do 5 cloves, but do it by your taste. All right, I've got my Dutch oven over here starting to heat up, and it's just getting warm. So the recipe calls for oil, but I figure since I'm trying to be traditional, this is bacon fat. And who doesn't love that? More flavor. Okay, now we're going to start cooking the meat. And I think I'm going to cook this in 2 batches because there's so much here. So we just want to get this browned. So I'm going to work on this and we'll come back. So the second batch of meat is almost browned. And I have taken out a few choice morsels to give to our dogs who are freaked out because we're having a thunderstorm. They don't like it at all. And there's no seasoning, so they can eat that. I'm going to add the onions now. And I'm going to add back the other meat. Now, for those of you who are thinking, we have a small family, we don't need this much food. Well, this stuff freezes wonderfully, and I'll give you a little hint on that. If you take the small mini loaf pans and line it, you can put it in foil, or if not, you can plastic wrap or something else after this has cooled slightly. Put your chili into those and freeze it hard, and then take it out, wrap it up very well, and you have little bricks of chili that will take up just a small amount of room in your freezer, and you can freeze it in portion sizes. Now we're going to add in all the garlic, and this is going to start to smell amazing. And my little Tootsie Roll knows something's up because she's right at my feet. She says, I know you're cooking. But she'll have to wait for her treat. Okay, now we've got the meat fairly browned. We have the onion and garlic in there. Now we're going to pour in that chili sauce that we made. And we're going to use the reserve liquid, but I'm going to use it first to kind of clean the blender out some and get that flavor out of here. And I'm going to strain this liquid just because there are a few seeds and skins in there that we don't really want. Now we're going to bring this up to a simmer, and we're going to simmer it on very low heat for 3 to 4 hours. The idea is for the liquid to reduce, but also for the meat to get really tender. This way they could use really tough cuts of meat that had flavor and make a really good meal out of it. So we're going to let this simmer. We will come back when it's time to eat. So this is about 3 hours, and you can see this meat is very tender. I can just break it with a fork. Now you can eat it like this, and this is good. But if you want it thicker, and this may not be traditional, but this is what I grew up knowing about. I took 1 cup of regular oatmeal. You could probably use the instant, I don't think it matters. But I put it in a spice grinder and made a powder out of it. So if we add this to the chili, it's going to be a thickener. Now this is also a way to stretch it if you need to stretch the chili. I'm not doing it for that reason. I'm doing it just to thicken it slightly. Because the meat is done. The meat is tender, and that's what I'm looking for. I just wanted a little bit thickener for the texture. And at this point, add a little salt and do this to taste. I don't do it until this point because you want to make sure you don't make it too salty, and you don't want to make the meat tough. We're trying to make the meat really tender. But look at that. It's already thickened. The meat is tender. This is ready to go. So let's have a taste. Okay, I meant to have my mama's cornbread video with this, and my camera didn't record, so we're gonna not have a video of that yet, but I'll do another one. But let's have a taste of this chili. And this is super hot. It's been on the burner for hours. But I want you to see how tender this meat is. It's super tender. Blending the chilies to your taste is such a great thing because you can decide if you want really mild or if you want a mixture. I did a mixture. This is a little warm, but I like it, and I know Brian would love it even warmer. But the flavor's there. The meat is so tender. This is Texas chili. This is what I grew up knowing. I didn't know that they put tomatoes in chili till I was an adult. So I hope you give this a try. It's not what you're used to, but this is traditional. So thank you for watching. God bless, and we'll talk again soon.